Hi guys, it's Eugene here. So today, here I am with another premium deck profile, and this time what I'm covering is Kagero. So it is a mix of uh, the B series, Dragon Empire, and Kagero. And the ace, one of the ace will be Eugene. So uh, this build is actually been around for quite a while, but with DBT03 cards updated for us, we actually can make the deck more viable, more easier to do what we want to do. This deck do have a win con. If you do like to make your opponents get rid of a lot of cards in their hand, this is the deck for you. So without further ado, let's go into the profile first, and we can talk about the win con, the combos you can do with this deck in a bit. So starter, I'm using the V starter because I can get a quick shield. I can always get to draw. I don't need to wait to be going second in order to draw. So here we are. And also the soul is quite important here, even though it's not great zero soul, but we do want more souls sometimes. And next we have for Eugene, because we do use the Eugene right line to help us get things easier, and there are cards that requires a Eugene in card name. But normally, Eugene his own skill, we won't have too much of a chance to actually use it. But we sometimes do, because he can still retire some stuff, he can still get you a board, and also help you to get some quality souls. Because if you use Eugene's skill to look at top of the deck, depending on how many empty circles opponents have, and call whatever you want, the rest is soul, you actually get to choose what card going into the soul, and which is quite important in here for this deck, which you'll see very soon. But before that, we have another card that helps us to create quality soul, which is Tribash. Tribash is just a very good card in premium, so easy to gain crit, even only for one battle, but you can like stack multiple Tribash and put them all in your Vanguard Soul to gain whatever crit that you put the Tribash into. So can help you to do one punch. Sometimes if you're going too quick, your opponents don't even have a PG, they don't have G Guardians, they don't have Glove Guard. This is what take them home. Basically, I did win games with just Tribash, just by going to my grade 4 first and just put like 3 Tribash in there, open another crit, give my opponents 5 damage, and even if they heal, I still win. So it's just a good card. And the reason we need to also use Tribash is because we do have one of our key card, which is Dragon Knight Nizari. So this is basically a win con. It's a V series card coming out with the cross before, and it's just a common, but it is such a great card right now when you see the combo. So this card skill is an active skill by soul blasting 3 grade 3 cards. So these are all your soul blasting sources. Then your opponent will need to choose from the hand and regard circle, and the regards up to 6, put them to drop, and then for a turn this unit get tanky power. So the key to this deck is you empty your opponent's whole board, so they have all empty regard circles, and then they need to choose 6 cards from their hand and drop it. And from there, you start to attack, and you push whatever you can. They lose 6 hands already, so they don't have enough cards to guard, or even if they do, they don't have enough resources to rebuild the board again, then you win from there. So the concept is very simple, but how to do it, we will get into that part very soon. Continue with the main deck. We have 4 of the render. For Eugene right chain, most of the time when I test, I actually couldn't get into him, even though I really want to, but because we are not in the era, so we don't have right deck, we can't confirm. But being able to soul charge from drop zone for whatever you want to is very, very big, and you get a draw from it. And this card also is another soul charge source because you can just attack counterblast 1. If your opponents have 2 or less regards, you can soul charge 1 and +5. So heavy turn power as well, which I think help the deck a lot, increasing chances to actually soul charging these cards to get into your Nizari effect a lot faster. Is quite key in this deck because you don't want to play slow. You do want to like first strike or second strike, get everything done, and you get out of it and win. And then we have Dustin. So this is a card from DBT03, and making the whole deck a lot easier to run, because this card, when he appears on Breakout Circle, if you have a Eugene Vanguard, which most of the time you will, then you can put 1 card into your soul, draw 1 card back, and retire a grade 2 or higher opponent's regard. So you get to choose what you soul charge with this skill. You get to draw 1 back, you get to kill something. So these are all your targets. To fulfill Nizari's skill, you need more grade 3s, and without Tri-Badge, what you can do, put whatever grade 3s with this skill. Right. And he also get 2k plus for each empty regard circle when attacked by Soul Blast 1, which sometimes helps, but it's not the real key in this deck. The main reason is to soul charge anything we want to from hand, draw 1 while retiring something, because we always want empty field, and it's a retire, so just good. And then we have Nigel for maintaining the right line, while you can also get to counterblast and retire him to pop another regard. Help you easier to get empty field again. As long as we can clear your opponent's board, you can use him, which is quite easy. But do remember he's only active skill, so do make sure you fulfill the requirement before you get into the battle phase, or else you need to wait for another turn. And then 3 Lava Flow for grid researching, because we do want to make sure we get Eugene as a Vanguard to make this to work. Sometimes we do want to find out Nizari so that we can do our combos, so that if we are lacking some Grade 3 soul in ways, you want to find a Tri-Badge while also gaining a crit to give your opponent's pressure. So this card is just great, help you to find all the pieces. And in order to make your opponents suffer even more, you can use Say, which is Seal Dragon. So this card for kind of forcing your opponents to put down something. If they don't, you get to draw 2 cards anyway. So no matter what, you don't lose a lot of stuff. And once your opponents know your game plan, they might just want to play a grade 2 so that they don't let you draw, but you're still going to board like them anyway, so those cards will still be gone. You really won't lose a lot of things from using this card. And then 2 Elmo, just in case if we want to counter charge, because we never know we run out of counter blast. So counter charging source is good. And now we enter triggers. Dragon Empire over trigger, so that we can withstand, because we aim to win very, very fast. So anything that helps us to win is great. Withstanding, make sure our Vanguard can attack again, even though it's not a guarantee, of course, but still, it's something that give the game a little bit spice and just scare your opponents by a lot, just by this card. And then a strike for the crit. We do want to keep our grade 3s to actually play on the board, or sometimes put in the soul, so we don't want to use too much grade 3 to strike, and that's why we need to full max this strike for the crit in order to make sure we have more options to strike, even though we don't always draw this card, but increasing the chance is more important here. In the soul charge plus 10k crit, so that we can also get a draw card, we get the give power, pressure, fill our soul, so that we can use a skill site counter say, basically it. And then 4 draw PGs. Just because draw PGs are draw PGs, we do want to draw a lot of cards, make sure we get all our combo pieces and win from there. And so far I don't see a reason to run the Red Wing crit, so there we are. And then 4 Heal Guardians, for quite a few reasons. One, it is a grade 3, so you can just simply put this into your soul by using Destin. You can use this card to strike instead of your key parts, and not to forget that when we use our render to put a card from drop into soul while being right on Eugene and also get a draw a card, you can, in the turn before, use this to defend yourself, and then right from render to Eugene to put this card into your soul. So you have that extra grade 3 to help you to get into your Nizari combo. Right, so that's basically the main deck. And also let's go through the strides, the grade 4s, then you can exactly tell why this deck is so much fun, so viable, and getting a lot more attention right now. First, we have our Dumjit, which probably is most of the time your first stride, because you usually do need to wait a turn in order to get enough grade 3s, unless you are very lucky, but else this is a card for you to go into. And this card, comboing with Tri-Bash is so much fun that you get to go into Blaze so that you can just stay at that state, while you also get to retire when this card appears on your circle. Just for counterblast, I'm gonna flip a G-Zone face up. You can basically kill anything. The plus 15k usually won't matter to me because I usually won't have any Sentinel in my drop anyway when my first strike, unless I'm really that behind. And the second skill is whenever your opponents use Sentinels or Tree Guardians, if you can stand a unit in Blaze during your turn -1 drive, you can choose to do that. Of course, with now once per turn, we can always choose a timing to do it. And also, with Tri-Bash, is a very good bait, because again, there are chances that I actually use this card on my first strike, and then play like 2 to 3 Tri-Bash, put them all in to gain like 2 to 3 crits and swing and say, okay, if you G Guardian, if you Sentinel, I'm going to restand this card. And I haven't actually started my drive check, so even if I use the skill, I still get to do 2 chain drives. So from there, there's a lot of things we can get, and if they don't PG it, the Tri-Bash crit will still stack on, and if I pull it over trigger, if I pull enough trigger power to get through, you are just going to suffer even more. So this card itself is already helping me winning games quick, but the key for this combo is using Sunburst. So this card is so simple. His skill is active skill, once per turn, place a G-Zone face up, retire your opponent's regards, and during the turn, or your graveyard or higher unit will get plus 10k. So this cleans the board. Nizari then takes 6 cards away. Just that simple. Even these can help you if your opponents don't have a lot of regards, and you can just go with these and say, okay, drop 6 hands afterwards, and if you still have Sentinel, I'm going to restand anyway, so be careful. Or you can just go in this, board wipe everything, and also on Nizari is a grade 3, it will get plus 10k, and this will also get plus 10k, so you're already gaining 20k from there. And your opponents lose 6 cards already, so they do need to give you a lot of cards to guard, and sometimes they just don't have that much. So that's the reason I'm using this card. But since we don't actually have a lot of chances to do the Nizari combo. It's like most of the time it's a one-off. Once you sold boss 3 grade 3s, usually it's not that easy to get a comeback. So just one is enough. You just need to do it once. You aim to win from there. And if you don't, you can simply just go to your Siegenberg to restand, since your opponents don't have a lot of cards already. Unless they draw like triple draw, and like when they take every single damage as a draw, then they might get to recover that fast, but usually that's not the case, right? So just these is going to help you win. And just put in a GB8 just in case that if we are really unlucky that we can't get enough grade 3s until this late, then at least we have a GB8 here to retire anything and able to gain crit. So still is a kind of pressure, but most of the time, like 99% of the time, you don't need to use GB8. Yes, you do have your board wipe, you do have your raise stands, those usually can win your games, but as a backup, it's still a good card. Then enter G Guardians. 3 Deny Griffin, which is great. If you play Kagero, this is basically a must for you in your G Guardians. Have you clear out any front row that is annoying? Just that is good enough. And then some free extra shield, 5k shield for G guards. Again, most of the time you will be using Deny Griffin anyway, but when you really don't want to use a color blast, you can just use this. And since you do board wipe, even when your opponent survives, you can still use him to create a very high shield value. But before that, he's not that useful, so only one. And the G flip one, just to increase the chances of retiring units. Nothing too much from there. Yeah. So deck list is quite simple, I think. And we do utilize the era cards quite a lot, and the other ones is basically retire, counter charge, great researcher, yeah, and a main combo. So again, what you do want to do is you do have your Eugene Vanguard, you do have say 3 souls ready, you have this here, and maybe you have this here, and of course before you get these out, you strike into a sunburst, and then you do that, and then you just say, okay, this G flip, retire the whole board, so boss 3 great freeze, discard 6 hands plus 10k, and if you actually get into person right, you also get another 10k, but even not happening, that's fine as well. And then just like swinging for 3k, and when they swing, get into soul, plus crit, do your drives and put everything here, just swing. Then if your opponent survives, go with this if you know them have a PG and not a lot of cards to guard. This if you just simply know they don't have any regards to play anyway, just withstand with this, easy. That's basically your main card. First strike, before I actually get enough of stuff, what I usually do again is this with Eugene here, and say if I play 2 of the Tri-Bash, save this in my hand, don't do anything, just swing, getting the soul, then you have 2 already, and just swing, waiting to withstand, even if not, just let that be. Next turn, if you can person right, there you already have 3. So it's really not too hard, and you can see I didn't even touch about this. So of course, like having 2 Tri-Bash is not easy. there are games that I have free try badges to drop to the damage zone. I can't even pick it back up. That happens, but you do have a lot of cards to help you out to do that. You can use this. You have this to help you, and like even when you're lacking Grave Reach, you can still put this in. So not that hard. And so far, when I use this deck, I never like can't do the combo. I always can do it, unless you can't draw a Eugene, which that's probably just the fate that the deck say I'm tired and just let me be. Yeah. Else, so far I really don't see any issue running this deck, but to me the main issue is you really need to wait a turn usually. It's not like first try you can do it. You probably can when you like have say 2 Dustin to put 2 Graveries into your soul when you on Eugene. So it's like this, and you have 2 of this, right? And from there you need to have 2 Graveries in hand to do this. And also before that, you need to have this, like right on top, and you are that lucky that have a Heal Guardian that you used and put in your soul. Like that, and you need to have a Nizari. So say what you need to have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces. If you really do have these pieces, okay, congrats, right? So let me quickly do it again. Say we are already on this, and we used a Heal Guardian. Okay, now we go into Eugene, do this, draw. You go this, put this in, draw yourself an extra card, retire something, play another one, put this in, and draw another card. But also, what actually before these, say you're already here or on these, depending on how many opponents you guys have, and then you play this, then probably just from there, Soul Blast this. Yeah, if you are that lucky, congrats. But most of my time I go from this, I get myself all the requirements needed during this turn. Next turn I go for this and play whatever that I need, just mainly these, and do my Soul Blast and just swing from there. Usually that happens, but you see, like if you really have a very lucky hand, then you probably can do it. But again, don't rely on that. Don't rely on like the god hand luck. Just play the deck. You know what the pieces you need, just grab them. You have a lot of ways to draw cards, a lot of ways to search, a lot of ways to soul charge. All of them will help you get into this goal a lot easier. And wait a turn usually isn't that crazy, because you do have the Denial Griffin to, when you see something very annoying, when they swing you can just pop them off. So you can start a lot of combo pieces just by doing that. And once you survive, you have your next turn, you just go to strike, get your Nizari down, and you basically got it. Yeah. So that's it for this deck profile. Let me know any questions you have, because some people might still have any questions they want to ask. But so far, I find this deck actually quite easy to pilot, and my friends who plays against it, which used it to use Nobatama and keep getting my cards from hand away, he still think this is just a good idea, not bad, and it's quite easy to do. So enjoy and let me know what you think. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.